The unrest in several mixed-ethnicity cities, where angry young men stoned cars, set fire to mosques and synagogues, and attacked each other, signaled a collapse of law and order inside Israel on a scale not seen since the start of the Second Palestinian Uprising, or intifada, 21 years ago. The violence follows a month of boiling tensions in Jerusalem, where the threatened eviction of Palestinian families from their homes coincided with a spate of Arab attacks against Israeli Jews and a march through the city by right-wing extremists chanting "Death to Arabs." The jarring violence this week caused Israeli leaders, led by President Reuven Rivlin, to evoke the specter of civil war, a once unthinkable idea. "We need to solve our problems without causing a civil war that can be a danger to our existence," Mr. Rivlin said. The silent majority is not saying a thing because it is utterly stunned. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited Lod, a working-class city with a mixed Arab-Israeli population that has emerged as the center of the upheaval. Hulks of burned-out cars littered the streets where, a few nights earlier, Arab youths burned synagogues and cars, threw stones and let off sporadic rounds of gunfire before gangs of Jewish vigilantes counterattacked and set their own fires. On Thursday, a Jewish man was stabbed as he walked to a synagogue there, but survived. "There is no greater threat now than these riots," said Mr. Netanyahu, who vowed to deploy the Israel Defense Forces to keep the peace in Lod. A day earlier, he described the violence as anarchy and said, "Nothing justifies the lynching of Jews by Arabs, and nothing justifies the lynching of Arabs by Jews." To secure Lod, the government brought in thousands of armed border police from the occupied West Bank and imposed an 8 p.m. curfew, but to little effect. Arab residents, who account for about 30% of the town's 80,000 people, continued a campaign of stone throwing, vandalism and arson, while Jewish extremists arrived from outside Lod, burning Arab cars and property. Arab protesters erected flaming roadblocks. As night fell, there were signs that the violence might escalate when a large convoy of armed Jews in white vans moved into town. The police shot an Arab demonstrator in Lod, said Ahmad Tibi, the leader of the Ta'al party and a member of Israel's parliament. "We don't want bloodshed. We want to protest." Mr. Tibi said that Mr. Netanyahu, who has frequently aligned with far-right and nationalist parties to stay in power, had only himself to blame for the political tinderbox that has exploded with such ferocity across Israel. On Thursday evening, the State Department urged American citizens to reconsider traveling to Israel and warned against going to the occupied West Bank or Gaza. In an advisory, the department noted rocket attacks that could reach Jerusalem, protests and violence throughout Israel, and a dangerous and volatile security environment in the Gaza Strip and on its borders. The trouble started on Monday when a heavy-handed police raid at Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third-holiest site in Islam, located atop a site also revered by Jews, set off an instant backlash.